Bingo, bango. Let's get Facebook in here and we can start the show. Rocking and rolling. We got them coming in here. It is Tuesday evening, I think. I mean, the week between Christmas and New Year's. Lord only knows what day it is. But we got both Facebook in here. I think we're good. Welcome in, folks. Tuesday evening. It is 6:07 Mountain Time. I think I'm back in the right time zone now. All the conversions. I'm still doing all my emails in PST. Like, shoot, wrong time. But we're doing okay. I am Nick Kendell, joined by Carl Dumler. Carl, happy holidays. Good to see you. How was the holiday? We have spoken, obviously, but not the face-to-face since then.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was good. It's been really warm here, which is weird. I've been in shorts. I'm in shorts right now because I'm going to go work out right after the show here. But it was good. Family came back, had good meals, lots of food, way over 8 for sure. And that's why I'm having to exercise to kind of make up for the few pounds I put on over the holidays here. But no, doing well. Everything good with you going back to see family? And
yeah, I mean, it's always hard because there's never enough time, and we have the only grandchild. So there's a lot of, I wouldn't say demands, but people really want to spend time with you, which is great, but there's just not enough time, right? So it was, we made the most of it. It was really good to be back. Happy to report we made it back safe and sound. The kid, unfortunately, did have a poop explosion the last hour of the 8-hour drive today, a blowout, whatever you want to call it. And that was unfortunate. It was probably the most I've ever seen from him in my life. So I think he was trying to hold it until we got home, and he did not. But that's okay. He pulled a Chargers, if you will. Maybe I shouldn't say that before we play them, but the Chargers, kind of crapping themselves and laying in it, sitting all their starters coming up here. But it was good. It was good. Everybody stayed healthy, and not to again talk immediately too much poop, but last year we did the drive from Iowa to Seattle instead of Denver. We got norovirus on the way back. So I don't think I've seen hell, and I've come out the other side doing that trip cross country with norovirus. So yeah, it was much better than that.
That's good. Thankfully our family has been healthy. We've had people here in town, the church, everything, that haven't been able to leave their house in like a week and a half because they've been sick. And
influenza A is really going around right now. It is bad.
Yeah.
I've had a few friends with children who have been hospitalized with influenza A. So if you guys got that, be safe.
For sure. And I know we've had a few of our listeners that have been in hospital lately and everything else. And we appreciate that you guys continue to tune in. And if you are sick, I'm sorry about it. Hopefully everybody coming in here is healthy and enjoying getting ready to kick in the new year. And hopefully a great run for the Broncos. We're going to talk about that here tonight with PFF has brought out their Super Bowl percentages and who they think will be making the Super Bowl. And surprise, surprise, Broncos at the top of that list. And I mean, there's a couple reasons why, and we'll get into that more as we get into this, but definitely want to say hi to a few people here in the chat. We got Sentinel coming in saying, sorry, I got to read it here.
Hi.
First, whoop, whoop. Happy Tuesday, gents. In my opinion, we get the Chargers in the divisional, then the Patriots, revenge for the Xmas game 2 years ago. These playoffs remind me a lot of the 2013 and 2015 one. Well, hopefully it turns out more like the 2015 one than 2013. But you know what? That 2013 season, that was a fun run too. I mean, yes, it didn't quite end how we all hoped, but at the same time, record-setting offense. Got to see Peyton Manning put up the greatest quarterback season of all time. We got to see DT go out there and dominate at the wide receiver position. Offensive line looked great. Noshawn Moreno turned into the running back we had all hoped when he was drafted in the first round. And so I don't want to take too much away from that 2013 season just because it ended on a sour note. Sometimes, yeah, the final destination isn't what you hoped for, but the journey is still a fun thing to go through too. 2015, obviously, great journey, great destination, and we'll see how that ends this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Great to see Sentinel in here. And I don't know if you've been paying attention to the line for this upcoming Broncos and Chargers game, Carl, but Denver originally, I think, was a 3.5-point favorite before it was announced that Herbert was officially not going to play. It went to 7.5. And now I think we're up to 10.5, 12.5 up there right now.
It keeps climbing.
It keeps climbing, understandably. We kind of remember how that last Week 18 game went last season. But entering the playoffs, even though maybe 1 seed, they got to win first. But I still feel like this team wants to be an underdog entering the playoffs with a 1 seed and everything. And boy, here at Mile High Huddle, we do love an underdog.
That's right. Everybody, the NFL playoffs are almost here. An underdog is the best place to get in on all the action. Are you ready to get off the bench and into the game? Then head on over to Underdog. By the way, it's not just football. Whether you're into basketball, hockey, or any sport in between too, Underdog is the best place to get in on all the action all season long.
Abso-frickin-lutely, Carl. Playing on Underdog is so easy. Just pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats such as rushing yards, receptions, touchdowns, and much, much more. Get your picks right and you could win up to 5,000 times your cash.
That's right. You can have fun playing Underdog and winning money while watching football. That's a touchdown, you guys. Download the Underdog app today and sign up with promo code MHUDDLE to score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code MHUDDLE. Millions of fans have already won billions making picks on Underdog. Will you be next?
Be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 HOPE line at 1-8778-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
Heck yeah. Also, heck yeah, all of our favorite people coming in here. Pearl coming in. Is that a new Corgi picture there, Pearl? We always love the Corgi, especially a tricolor. Really cute. I can't tell. It feels like the lighting's a little different. Maybe it's the same one, but new vision after what I've seen, the drive back from Iowa here. Good to see you, Pearl. Mike Thompson in the house. Hey, guys, great to see you. We got 6763 Mark says, good evening, go Broncos. Absolutely. And we got a super chat coming in here from one of our main guys, David Youngkin, saying, my main concern for the Broncos playing the Chargers backups is we play like we did against the Chiefs backups. I maintain, Carl, I don't know if we had a chance to talk. We haven't talked since that game, I don't think. No, because it's Thursday. Again, time is so weird when you're on vacation and kid and travel and the holidays. But I don't think, the score was close, but you watch that game, you look at all of the statistics. The Broncos beat the absolute tar out of the Chiefs. They didn't even have 100 yards until that last drive when they had to score a touchdown, and Denver was kind of playing, not prevent per se, but no touchdowns defense. Like, we'll let you get down the field a bit, but they some fluky you-know-what plays as well. The one where the ball bounced back to the quarterback and the really crazy interception that happened, and also a big special teams play for the Chiefs as well. So stuff you got to correct, but it was only a seven legitimate possession game for the Broncos, but at 20 points on 7 possessions, that would be, I think, the best offense in the NFL if you did that rate for any of the teams, whatever the points per possession is. So I know it came down to 1 possession in the end, closer than we wanted, but some fluky stuff kind of happened. And when you play in those waters, sometimes you drown, right? If you're playing a little close like that, every once in a while, you'll have one where, man, we beat the heck out of them. We were so much better than them. We lost. So I don't love doing that, because Broncos are kind of doing that a lot this year with inferior opponents. But that, I think most people could look at that and see the Broncos were the vastly superior team playing better football out there. Just a few of the breaks really didn't go their way in that game. And football's a chaos sport. Sometimes that happens. Better team won.
And I think there's a couple other things to factor in. One, it was in Kansas City. It was an emotional night with it being possibly Travis Kelce's last game with the Chiefs at home.
Oh my God. How many times could they talk about that on the air? I was ready to.
I know. I'm sorry. And I'm bringing it up now.
I just remembered. It's not your fault. I just remember. Oh, there's Travis Kelce. Talk about the freaking game. God, I don't need it. Could this possibly be as Al Michaels? I love you. Stop it.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
But I do think that there was an emotional charge there for that team. Like they had a lot more to play for, even if it wasn't for a playoff spot or anything like that. I do think some of his teammates were making sure to try to give him a good opportunity. They also still had Chris Jones out there. They had Creed Humphrey, Trey Smith, Nick Bolton. I mean, we can go down the list. They still had quite a few starters in that game that are high quality guys. So it wasn't like the Chiefs completely tanked in that game. I'd say the Tennessee Titans game, that was one where they pretty much tanked. They were just like, whatever, we don't care. But this one, and I think part of that also, when your starting quarterback goes out in the first couple drives, like that's the guy that's been preparing all week. Now all of a sudden you got to throw your backup in. It becomes that much more of a challenge when that guy's not been getting the reps. And so, like I said, I think there was a few different things that were happening there where for the Chargers in this one, it really is get out healthy. It'd be great if you got the win, but this is going to be in Denver. Crowd's going to be amped up.
You need the win.
Yeah. And Broncos really, I do think they're probably going to have a similar game plan to how they played that Chiefs game. Run the ball, control the clock, stay ahead of the chains, make it where it's under 10 drives in the game. So it's probably going to be a little bit lower scoring game. Like if I was placing a bet on, the spread that's out there, whether it's 10.5, 12.5, I'd probably put it towards the Chargers just because that's kind of how the games have gone this year. And like I said, I think both teams will be kind of playing that way. Conservative, not really going for the big plays down the field. Just keep the ball in play, keep the clock moving, and see how it goes. But I do think this one will be different. I really do. Especially, like I said, just Broncos being in front of that home crowd is really going to see them, I think, be a little bit more amped up for this one.
I hope so. I was thinking about getting tickets if they did Saturday, but Sunday's my kid's birthday, so can't do that, obviously. But we'll be watching all the same, and yeah, it'll be a good one. I'll be curious to see who all the Chargers do end up sitting in this one. Are you talking about Amari Hampton being out? McConkey's always injured. Keenan Allen with his age. You're talking about Khalil Mack potentially, Derwin James maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe, and the one who I think is really not imperative is the wrong word, but if he's out, I feel like Denver can play a completely different game, and that is Tier Tart because of the Chargers have continued to lean into the lighter bodies where a lot of teams are starting to get bigger again on defense to combat kind of the perfect pendulum that is the game of football and strategy. And Tart is a huge piece for their defensive line and run stopping up front. I know that they also took Jamari Caldwell this last year, had a really good game against the Broncos week 3. But Tier Tart is somebody who, he's not going to be exploding the stat sheet, but behind him, I feel like there's not much of anything. So if he's out, considering how light the bodies are for the Chargers and how much too high stuff they want to do with Minter and, playing, again, more coverage, bend, don't break stuff, Denver should be able to run the frickin' ball against them. So I think that's hopefully this is a get right, not necessarily get right. Like they've been fine, average, but hopefully this is a game where you kind of flex your muscles a little bit on the ground game rather than having to be Bo Nix dropping back 40 times with, 3 air yards per attempt. Like it's nice that you can do that sometimes. And I understand, a lot of these games, like you're only losing it if you have some costly turnovers when you have the talent advantage that they did against Chiefs and probably will against the Chargers. But when you're playing those light boxes and they're daring you to throw it deep, you got to be able to punch them in the frickin' mouth with the run game. So that's what I'm hoping for in this.
Yeah. I doubt Tart will play. He's been banged up with that groin injury. And to me, if you are already sitting Justin Herbert, why would you risk any other players that are even a little bit nicked up right now?
Yeah.
I would be getting those, and the veterans too. Like I said, Keenan Allen, McConkey's not a veteran, but because of just how injury prone he has been so far in his career, I think pretty much I would be going, okay, yeah, we're not tanking this game, but we are being as cautious as we can. Oh, you got a little twinge in your neck? Yep, you're sitting this week. And yeah, and then we got Mike Thompson coming in saying it he just became a YouTube member. That's great. Thank you so much, Mike Thompson, for doing that. And I can promise you're not going to regret that decision. So thank you for joining this incredible family. And it's great to see the Mile High Huddle group. Every year, I'm just always impressed of how much this group has grown and the reach of just talking to people in Australia, Brazil, Hawaii, we've got people all over the place and just now getting to call them friends, family, whatever you want to call them here in this Mile High Huddle. So thank you, Mike Thompson.
Yeah, thanks, Mike, for re-subscribing to Mile High Huddle as a member. Also, shout out to somebody who's becoming a frequent flyer here with the Super Chats, Shannon Mills coming in. Again, I got to say my son's name is Mills, so love it, love it. They say, good evening. I'd like to see the Broncos extend the possessions again, but get touchdowns during each trip in the red zone. Go Broncos, get that number 1 seed. Yeah, that's something that, again, hopefully it's nothing we talk about in the playoffs. Like, oh, there were signs here, but before the mini bye, Broncos obviously had a lot to work on as far as the offense goes. I mean, they led the league in punts to that point. I don't know if that's still the case. But one thing they could really hang their hat on early in the season on both sides of the ball was the red zone execution, both the defense and the offense. And that's something I feel like since the bye has kind of gone the wrong direction. Now, granted, sample size of 1 of 1 for that Chiefs game, but I think the Jags went 4 of 5 in the red zone. So you're talking about 5 of 6 there, and Denver's been not coming away as well in the red zone of late. So hopefully they can, honestly, again, I hope they can just freaking power it in. Like, don't do anything. And we don't need to unveil any of Sean Payton's like winner plays in this one against the Chargers. Just get behind Quinn Miners, get Prentice in there, and power the football in. But yeah, this good call out by Shannon about the red zone offense and defense. Denver had the number 1 red zone defense for a bit, but I do think the Jags went 4 for 5. I know the Chiefs went 1 for 1. So small sample size again. What does that mean? Could it just be a blip and a little bit of regression to the mean? Maybe. But when you are playing those short possession games, and I talked about it on Twitter as well, you damn well need to be coming away with 7 when you're in the red zone, especially goal to go situations. Like coming away with 3 when you only have 7 possessions. It's better than, a punter and a turnover, but you need to take advantage of those opportunities.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, the Chiefs one, I'm trying to remember, that was the turnover, right?
Yeah, right off the turnover, bad tackle attempt from Riley Moss, I think, also.
Right. And then the touchdown, 2 guys went with 1 receiver, leaving the running back wide open in the flat. It is more of a miscommunication than bad. It's a bad play. Yeah. But I keep harping this. I think the biggest problem for the Broncos defense over the last month has just been communication. You would think that'd be improving as the season goes because you're getting used to each other. But for some reason, the Broncos have been regressing in that area. And I think teams are figuring out a couple things that they can get the Broncos confused on. And like I said, that communication has just not been there as what it was before. And so I'm hoping, like I said, this mini bye week, and then hopefully we're having a bye week after this, that'll be a time where the team really works on this. And I was listening to somebody from the 2015 team. They were a pretty young player. And when the Broncos got the bye week, they were getting ready to leave town. And the veterans stepped up and said, nope, everybody's staying in town. Everybody's going to come working. Like, yes, it's a bye week, but we're watching film. We're sitting down, getting everything corrected. And so I'm hoping we can see that again with this team. They get the bye week. Hey, we're going to sit down. We're all going to talk about this. We're going to hold each other accountable and make sure that we're all on the same page and correcting these little mistakes. Because like I said, if you're holding teams to 7 possessions, touchdowns are going to be the make or break of how this plays out. If you, like I said, those red zone trips, if we're getting away with 7, they're getting away with 3, we're going to win a lot of those games. I think of the Houston game. Broncos were holding them to 3 points or no points in the red zone where we were coming away with touchdowns. That made the difference in that kind of game. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, Shannon, you're right. That is something to keep an eye on. I'm not completely worried about it yet because, like I said, it is a small sample size, but just something to keep in the back of our mind.
Yeah, and it's down the list as far as the big picture issues for this team coming in. And I mean, it's stuff that's obvious, but it always is nice to hear from the head coach, kind of like, banging the drum of, to a tune that you've been singing for months, and that is takeaways from the defense. His press conference on our conference call on Monday, things are weird, the holiday and the Thursday. I think it was Monday. He said, what's we really emphasizing here on this point and going into the playoffs? He's like, turnover differential, but Denver's protecting the ball pretty well. The issue is takeaways. They got to be. I mean, they're not the Jets, who haven't even had an interception this year, which is unbelievable. Oh man, the Jets. But Denver has to be bottom 5, bottom 10 in interceptions for this season. That just doesn't make sense for how much pressure they get on the quarterback, the leads they're playing with. They should be able to come away with some. And I hope, again, I say it every freaking week on here, Carl. I'm hoping that one coming up here is kind of the one that breaks the dam, and then they come in bunches. Now would be the time to do that. But this has not been a team that's taking the ball away. And interceptions tend to be a little, all turnovers can be a little fluky, but they're also, for how much they're hitting the quarterback and some of the hitters that they have at like safety and linebacker, you think you'd jar the ball loose every once in a while. And I can't even think of a strip sack or a forced fumble from this team. And God, I don't even know. I can't even remember.
Yeah. I think there's a couple stats I heard, and I might be completely wrong on these, but the Broncos right now, they only have 12 turnovers on the year. The lowest Super Bowl winner when it comes to turnovers in a season was 17. And that was the Chiefs like 3 years ago. So we're a little ways behind that. It kind of shows just how good this team has been, that they've been able to win without turnovers. But you get to the playoffs, those will become very, very key moments for this team. And I do think that they're going to have to first force a couple turnovers in these games if they're going to stand a chance of winning them. And
they really do.
Yeah. And then I think the Broncos are tied for last with, I think it's Pittsburgh. Maybe it's Pittsburgh or Green Bay, one of the two, when it comes to fumbles, which, like I said, it's crazy. You think like Green Bay having the pass rush that they had before injuries, and the Broncos with the pass rush they have, you should be getting at least one strip sack at some point this season. And I don't think we've had a strip sack this year. We've had quarterbacks fumble it, but not because the Broncos hit it out of their hand.
Yeah. I can't think of one. Chad would have to let us know, but I can't think of any. So hopefully it starts coming down the wire here. It'd be great to get some short fields for the offense. But I mean, I said it when the defense was playing good. They're not playing awesome football anymore. I mean, they've fallen from top 3 to probably 8th best defense. I think since the mini bye, they are 10th in DVOA on defense. They're also 10th in DVOA on offense. So hello. But the defense has fallen down a tad, and just need to start taking the ball away. All can be rectified if you start taking the ball away. But I think the talk of putting them up there with the Texans, the Eagles, the Seahawks, with how they're playing as of late, they're a tier under them right now. But maybe the offense can be better with the offensive line, Sean Payton, and Bo Nix with how he's played. We'll see. And we've seen them play great, so we know they can attain that level. We got David Mickelrath coming here. Papa Bear, Happy New Year to you. Hope you're doing well. 14-3 plus. Heck yeah, let's get it. Mile High Dutchie says, hello, Broncos and MHH fans. Exciting weekend coming up. Broncos are going to take the 1 seed. Seems that way. Got to win, but seems that way. Roy Osborne, good evening. Yeah, influenza A going around here. Stay healthy. Yeah, it's Mike Thompson says was sick with Jokic's knee buckling. Luckily, hyperextended 4 weeks plus, but it's not a season ending. I'm not a basketball guy. I played basketball in high school. I got dunked on by, oh God, I cannot think of his name. Somebody who was the number 1 recruit in the country that played in Ames and then ended up going to North Carolina, Harrison Barnes. And that's when I knew I was not, I mean, I knew I was not going to the NBA, but I was like, yeah, I'm done. I can't do that. Yeah, just crazy. Pearl coming in. Yeah, rather be the Broncos, be the underdogs. I mean, against this Chargers team, whatever, but playoffs, I'll tell you what, if it's Broncos versus Texans, I'm guessing it's probably going to be 50-50, maybe even 60-40 people picking the Texans over the Broncos because the Texans are hot and they're a good team and they'll have won a playoff game as well. So we'll see what happens. Denver already beat them once, but that was a weird kind of game. Davis Mills, all that stuff. It counts still. And, we didn't have Patrick Surtain, but that would be a bloodbath if that game's happened. And the way the playoffs are set up right now, if the Broncos do get the 1 seed, can the Texans win the division? If the Jags lose and the Texans win, is that possible? Or is that out the door? I don't know about that one. Somebody in the chat can let us know. But I think
it's still there.
You think it's still available for them to jump to win the division? I'm not sure. With tiebreakers, somebody can let me know. But right now, I think the Texans probably get that 5 seed. And the way it's set up is Denver could not play the Patriots or Jags if things hold serve until the AFC Championship game. So granted, a lot of good wildcard teams, specifically the Bills and the Texans, but we will see how it plays out. But good to see you, Big E. How's everybody doing? I'm coughing here, but we're doing okay. Ernie, great to see you as well. John says game is still going to be tough. Every game we play is a nail biter. I think Denver's going to take care of business here in this one. Now they still might, with how the Chargers play defense, it might be a lower possession game again, but I just expect the Broncos to get after it and take care of business at home. Not the 38-3 or 38-0 drubbing that we saw last year against the Chiefs, Carl, but I think Denver will win by 10.
It would be nice. I mean, I would love that 38-0 kind of win, because definitely we'd be feeling a little bit better about where things are at if we could do that. But and it is the division is still open for the South.
Oh, for the AFC South.
Yep. So if Jags win, Texans, if Jags lose and Texans win, Texans take the 3 or whatever. I guess they would be the 3 no matter what there, because of Broncos and Patriots being ahead of them by a game there. But so yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that all plays out. I do think probably Jags still win, probably take the 3 seed, and then we might have to be hoping that Chargers with the 7 seed take down Patriots, get them at home. Then we get to maybe see like a Jags Texans or Jags Bills game, and let them defeat one of the tougher opponents for us. And I mean, not saying the Jags are going to, or the Chargers are going to be like a easy game, because we've seen Chargers already beat us once this year. And it was for some reason Harbaugh gives the Broncos trouble.
3-game sample size.
I know it is, but it's still one of those things. He's got some things that work, and Herbert feels comfortable playing against this Broncos team. And now maybe not anymore, because his offensive line is even more banged up since we've played them last. I mean, losing his left tackle, I'm pretty sure he's lost maybe his left guard as well. His right tackle was already hurt. I'm trying to think if there was anybody else. And then I know Becton's still banged up this year. I don't know if he's going to be good to go or not by the time we play him this week or here in a couple of weeks. But so yeah, there's a lot of ways that this could go. My personal favorite would be Broncos play I'm just going to go AFC Championship. It'd be Broncos versus the Patriots. So 2024 quarterbacks, Drake May, Bo Nix. Broncos win that one. Then Broncos Bears. Broncos beat Caleb Williams. And then, Bo Nix, first Super Bowl champion of the 2024 class, while taking 2 of them down. Now, I know he's not playing defense against them, but that'd just be my personal favorite. Either that, or, and we'll get into this here in just a second, because this is our topic for the night. Broncos taking down the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. Really redeem that 2013 season and have 2 of my favorite quarterbacks, Bo Nix and Sam Darnold. I was a big Sam Darnold fan, if you remember right, in that draft. I was calling for the Broncos to trade up for him. And so now to see him doing as good as he is doing, I think he's the first quarterback in NFL history to have, it's either 13 wins in back-to-back seasons with 2 different teams.
First quarterback.
Yeah. So pretty cool to see that for him. I'm glad that he's having a good season, but I'd still love to play them in the Super Bowl. And like I said, get that redemption for the Broncos against the Seahawks.
I'd love to play anybody in the AFC Championship, and I'd love to play anybody in the Super Bowl, because that means we got there. But we'd see. I think it'd be really fun to take on the 49ers as well, or the Rams. But we got a long way to go. Let's take care of the Chargers first. But first, let's say hello to everybody in here. Then we'll get to the topic, Carl. Emily Test Prep. I'm here to party, as always, as am I. Jetty Splash. Good to see you guys. Mike said he also joined the Discord. God bless you, Mike. We're doing well. Yeah, Peter says, sure you can. Nick Kidd will still be there next year. Yeah, absolutely. Todd, good to see you, Todd. Mark Kennedy's in the house. Appreciate you, Mark. Hope you're doing well. We got Tyler in here. If Coach H is worried about one player's health, that player is a great part to the Chargers team. I see him more than likely benching James, Mac, Herbert, etc. A lot of people. And he says Broncos 24, Chargers 24. Broncos 40, Chargers 24. I think it'll be lower scoring than that, just because I expect it to be a lower possession game, which is fine. Misty J Missed 4J says they had a strip sack against the Jags, but it was called roughing the passer. That was the one that was whistled dead. So like, would he have fumbled it if Lawrence was holding on the football, actually going through the play? I don't know. But I think the roughing, I mean, that's just a terrible situation. I don't know what you can do about that. But that was one that was close. And boy, we need some turnovers to start happening here, baby, without a doubt. We got Sean coming in here too. Says, hey guys, great show. A little sick, so going to miss the game Sunday. Who would you want to face the Broncos to face in the playoffs? Carl kind of already went into it. Man, I don't know who I don't want to face.
How do you feel about the Bills?
The Bills are terrifying because Josh Allen can go superhuman, and then they are really tough to beat at that point. And also they can get heavy with their personnel. They can run on the Broncos, and they don't have like a number one wide receiver for the Broncos to scheme out with Patrick Surtain. So like, that's not really as much of an advantage. They're like, oh no, we can't throw it to Keon Coleman, or Brandon Cooks or whoever they have. Like, okay, who cares? Right. So they've also been playing a little bit better on the defensive side of ball as of late. It would be good poetic justice to face them at Denver and knock them out after they knocked you out last year. Just kind of like a obvious, like, oh, we're better now. We've taken a step forward, but we got some time to think on that. I mean, honestly, famous last words, but like, it feels like the Chargers are the weakest team in the crop, right? And I know that we're going to play a weakened version of them, and it's going to be hard to play them again, but it'll be at home, and their offensive line is pretty hurt. Justin Herbert has the ability. I mean, he's playing quarterback nearly as well as anybody in the league right now. Again, small sample, but just like his current level of play is very high. So I don't know. You're going to be playing a good opponent no matter what.
Yeah.
Hopefully the Broncos can pull it out.
Yeah, I'd say probably the team I don't want to play would be the Jags, but that wouldn't be until the AFC Championship game, no matter what.
Unless they lose to the Titans and the Texans win.
Okay. That's true.
We just talked about it. So
right. So the odds of that happening are slim. Yeah. Just because, I mean, the Jags are a great team. They did come into Denver, get the win, and it wasn't that particularly close of a game. I mean, the Broncos kept it close the first half, but then just lots of mistakes there in the second half, and then felt like there's a lot of panic of just have to make a big play, and it just wasn't there this time around. So I think that would be a tough matchup. And I mean, they're playing as good as anybody on both sides of the ball right now. But like I said, I think Chargers would be a good matchup. They're banged up both sides of the ball. Justin Herbert being hurt. And I do think, like, I know it's his non-throwing hand, but not being able to put that ball on the hand, secure it very well. I do think that led to a couple of his fumbles over the last couple of weeks. And so I could see him having one of those kind of mistakes of a big fumble that goes the Broncos' way if we were to play them in the playoffs. And Patriots, I know we haven't really talked about them yet. I just don't know what they are yet. You know, they haven't really, they've dominated everybody for the most part, but most of them have been pretty bad teams. They beat one team with better than a 500 record so far this year, and that was Buffalo Bills on a Thursday night game. Otherwise, that's it. And so I do think the up in competition. Now, maybe they are as good as their record says.
Well, I mean, you haven't even addressed the chef in the room with the Patriots also. If you get what I'm saying by that. With
the Drake May?
No.
No, okay.
Stephon Diggs felony.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I don't think the NFL will make any kind of move until the legal process plays itself out, which is going to take time. But we'll stay away from that topic just because we don't know what's really going on with that. So,
I mean, the topic is that he's allegedly, there's a strangulation of a personal chef, and it happened following the Patriots-Giants game. And also Trevon Diggs was released, so maybe a lot of talk that he might be heading to the Bills, but we'll see about that. That'll change some things there as well. But yeah, it's Diggs, regardless if he's playing or not, distraction city, Carl, for the Patriots. So yeah, he's by far their best weapon.
Yeah,
on
for
offense,
sure.
other than Drake May, who's a weapon himself because he's such a good runner.
Right. So the topic tonight, PFF put out their latest simulation for the Super Bowl just for the playoffs in general. And they gave each team, they ran simulations, who made it, who didn't, how many times they make it, ran the percentages. And the number one team is the Broncos for this one, which is, so let me give a little reasons why I think this is. One, it's not completely secured, but really good chance Broncos are going to be the number one seed. Where NFC, we don't know. Could be 49ers, could be Seattle Seahawks. I think because that's so up in the air right now, that lowers their percentages. Where Broncos, it's almost guaranteed. You've got a bye week. You've only got to go win 2 games. Everybody has to come to Denver to win. Broncos have been great at home. And so I think that's why these simulations keep going in the Broncos' favor. But right now they have the Broncos as a 30% chance to make the Super Bowl.
Wow.
And an 18% chance to win the Super Bowl, which is or 17%, sorry, 17% chance that the Broncos win the Super Bowl. Just heading into the playoffs, everybody a part of it, which is just crazy numbers. Like I said, 30% chance is really cool to see for the Broncos. And I think the next highest in the AFC is actually the Buffalo Bills at 9% chance to win the Super Bowl. And then the Texans at 8%. And finally, then the Patriots and Jacksonville at 7% and 6%. Baltimore at 5%. Pittsburgh at 2%. And as you were saying earlier, Los Angeles Chargers, 1% chance to go win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That's all that they're giving them right now.
I don't think AFC North or the Chargers have much of a chance. I don't think the NFC South has much of a chance. Now, maybe they win one game that's a surprise, but the ability to win 4 games in a row for those teams is, we've seen enough football at this point that I think we can say that's highly, highly, highly improbable, as the ratings show. But really, can you say those numbers again for the Broncos? You said 30% chance to make the Super Bowl and 18% chance to win it?
17% to win it.
That's crazy. I'm honestly a little surprised. So the 30% to make it doesn't shock me too much, especially if Denver gets the 1 seed, right? Like you have an automatic win to start. You're playing all your games at home. Denver lost their first home game in a while against a Jags team that looks like they just wanted it more dialed in. I don't think Denver's going to, Jags could still beat them again, but I think they'll be eyes wide open if Jags come into Denver again, which would be probably an AFC championship game. But I am a little bit surprised to see it go from 30 to 18%. I would have figured it would have been a little lower, just given how everybody is much, much, much higher on the NFC in general. So where would that put the Broncos in terms of rankings of did you say Super Bowl chances?
That would be the highest of every team. Seahawks are at 14% to win the Super Bowl.
Wow.
And let's see, 29% chance to make the Super Bowl. Then you got the Rams at 12% to win the Super Bowl and 23% of the time making the Super Bowl. And then the 49ers, 9% chance to win the Super Bowl and 21% of the time making the Super Bowl. So pretty much they're expecting an NFC West team to make the Super Bowl, which you got 3 teams in the playoffs. That makes sense. 3 of the 7 are from your division. And I don't think it's a hard argument to make that the 3 best teams in the NFC are in the NFC West.
Yeah.
Because you got Bears, you got Eagles, somebody from the NFC South. And is that it?
I mean, I think the Eagles have to be in the conversation just with the way their defense is playing of late. They're playing as good as anybody right now. So they still have stars on offense.
Yeah.
I still am having a hard time. And the Packers, yeah, but they're a shell of themselves. It's really it's too bad, honestly, because they're a good team when healthy, but not happening. And just kind of for contrast, Carl, FTN, formerly Football Outsiders, using DVOA. They have the Broncos. They see the Broncos similarly to Pro Football Focus in their simulations, with the Broncos winning the AFC 31.5% of the time, making the conference championship 57.1% of the time, which is only one win. So yeah, that's your chance of winning one right now. But Super Bowl winner, they're third, 13.2% rather than 18, behind the Rams at 14.6 and the Seahawks at 23.8. DVOA loves the Seahawks, though. I mean, their point differential is massive. They just poured it on teams where Denver is. I mean, you see it. I think they just tied the record for most one-score wins in a season with the Chiefs of last season. So, I mean, you can look at that two ways. You can say, oh, look, they're battle-tested. They're used to close games. They're going to be playing close games of playoffs. Or you could be saying balls bounce their way many times this season. We'll see if that keeps happening. Obviously, it hasn't in terms of turnovers, but you get what I'm saying. We got Glenn coming in and says, good morning out there in Australia. Happy New Year's Eve to all. We're looking forward to getting it done early on Sunday versus the Chargers. Really want to see improvements in our tackling, secondary coverage, and minimizing the drops. This is a dress rehearsal for the playoffs. Given we'll get a rest if they win. We have to treat it like one. State of being, next step, the 1 seed. Yeah, goal number 2 for the Broncos, getting that 1 seed.
Yeah, did you like the fact that Sean Payton really didn't celebrate a whole lot the AFC West champs? Yeah, like Monday they were talking about, he's like, we got hats, we got shirts, they're in their locker room. We really didn't talk about it. The hats kind of, I've heard they suck. Which I'm like, ugly. I don't know how much the front office is going to appreciate that when you're trying to push merch and get some extra money coming in, which, I mean, I guess they don't care too much because they've got cuckoo bucks anyway, but still, I guess I kind of liked it where he's like, nope, we got more to do. Like, yeah, it's great. And yes, we haven't been able to do this in 9 years, but at the same time, we've set our goal as Super Bowl champs. I mean, he didn't say it that way, but I think that's the way he's treating it. And he's trying to get that across to his players. Like, yeah, we've accomplished goal number 1, but unless you go accomplish goal number 2, 3, and 4, it's kind of for nothing. You know, it's great. Oh yeah, we made the playoffs again. We did that last year. Yes, there's a difference between winning a division as you get that home playoff game. But at the same time, like I said, if you lose that first, or I guess the divisional playoff game, you kind of feel like the season's a little bit of a letdown when you were the 1 seed.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We got DSW saying, how well did last year's projections come to be last year at this time? I think pretty well, because it was the 1 seed versus the 1 seed. And I think a lot of people were in on the Chiefs and Eagles. So this year's a lot more grab bag, feels like, which good for the Broncos. Nobody, I think almost nobody predicted them to win the 1 seed. They haven't yet, so I'll knock on wood for that one. But, it's been a fun year, a lot of parity, which is awesome. God, it is absolutely awesome. We got Shannon coming in again. Those hats were hideous. They're silver and black, Raiders colors. Not good. Not good. I mean, I'm glad that they got it. And I think it was Alex Singleton talked about, putting it in a box and opening it up 50 years from now. But, it's good that they won it. Obviously, those matter, but it is just a step on the way. And I do think the Broncos would have celebrated more, Carl, if they had won after that game and then been able to go in and celebrate. But since it was like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, you're with family, stuff like that, holidays, you feel happy about it, but you have your eyes on much loftier goals. So this needed to happen. You get to host a playoff game now. It was one of the things that Sean Payton mentioned as like a must-have following that loss to the Bills last season. So excited about it. We got Jenny coming in here. Carly, maybe you can help with this as well. Going to the game this weekend, do you have any recommendations? Where's the lit tailgate? No, Lot C is very popular. That's considered like one of the more classic spots in general. I know Lots M and N are also good. And if you find the Broncos like Ring of Fame statues, they have like a fan experience area there where you can like buy drinks, and a lot of porta potties too if had a few drinks and broke the seal or anything like that. But I do think the weather is going to be nice for you. So should have a good time regardless, even though maybe some of the zest will have been taken out with the Chargers sitting some folks.
Yeah, if you're getting there early, like during the weekend before the game and you get a chance. I mean, we went to Shanahan's Get to go see the Super Bowl trophies. If you want to go look at a bunch of memorabilia for the Broncos, that's where I recommend going.
I'm still mad at Lance.
Why'd you pick that?
I
You
know.
pick the Green Bay one every time. Come on.
Yeah. What are you doing?
Yeah. we're gonna banish Lance to the back of the line in case another opportunity like that comes up, which I'm not sure it ever will. But anyway, that's a great restaurant. It is expensive. I will put that out there, but you get to see a lot of cool things. And every once in a while there are some Bronco players there too.
Mm-hmm.
So you might get to meet some people. There's plenty to do there. There's plenty of hiking. I know it's winter time, so maybe a few of those trails are closed off right now, but even around town, there's some nice parks that you can go hit up. There's a nice place around like Coors Field if you want to go catch up with quite a few bars and everything else.
Go to Red Rocks. You can go down to Colorado Springs, Garden of the Gods. Yeah, there's some areas for sure. But yeah, I was thinking about getting tickets for the game, but absolutely not with the little guy's birthday. Turn-in 2. So fun times. We are going to start to wrap it up here pretty soon, Carl. Right now, I love the projections and everything like that. It just doesn't mean too much to me because I don't know who the Broncos are playing. Matchups are going to be huge in the playoffs this season. I don't think there is a team that is truly a super team out there. I think that Broncos, whoever gets the 1 seed, it's even more important than normal because you can avoid that first round, lick your wounds, get a little bit healthier as well, and get some time to game plan. I know there's always some concern about some people, make big like, oh man, you get soft, you kind of get out of your rhythm at that point, but it's an automatic win for that team. And Sean Payton, another thing Sean Payton really talked about is how important that 1 seed is in general, because he even put it in a way that's like, it is like a win on that first round, if that makes sense, where you don't have to, subject yourself to any injuries or anything like that. So it'll be huge for the Broncos to do it. I think they, according to, again, FTN, I think they said Denver had an 84% chance to win, but I think that was released before we knew for sure that Justin Herbert was going to be out. So probably has changed now, a little higher for the Broncos. And I mean, gosh, getting that 1 seed, who'd have thought? I want to close out the show here, Carl. It is, 2026, 2025 is coming to a close, 2026 around the corner. It is unbelievable to think where this team was just 3 years ago, 4 years ago, maybe, whatever, with a Nickelodeon game at Los Angeles, with Russell Wilson throwing that pick 6, to think that, a few years from now, you'll move on from Russell Wilson. You'll have Sean Payton. You'll be getting the number 1 seed in the AFC. You'll topple the Chiefs. I'd have called you insane. I mean, they must have hit on a superstar quarterback. Maybe they did, but it is much more than that for the Broncos, with just how they've changed their culture, their identity, and underneath the Walton Penner group. I mean, everything just feels like it's pulling the same direction now. It's hard to win a division. I don't think Broncos are set up to win the AFC West the next 10 years after taking it from the Chiefs. We'll see what happens with Patrick Mahomes next year, but with how good, Justin Herbert's played this year, and they're going to get both their tackles back next year. Every year it's like, don't forget about the Chargers, but we'll see. Let's just beat them before we talk too much smack. I just want to just talk about, and reflect on the turnaround this team has had and just how painful it was to watch them a lot, especially this time of year. We're pulling for them to, I'll just call it as I was. Some people are going to get mad at me for it, but that game they played against the Raiders, where Shelby Harris batted that 2-point conversion, I was hoping Denver would lose that game. Oh, it's the Raiders. I want to pick 10 instead of 15. We could have gotten Tristan Wirfs instead of Jerry Jeudy. That matters. Yeah. But, broken road, all that jazz. But just like crazy to think of where they were and where they are now, and just all these little pieces here and there. And I just want to say, God bless Sean Payton. Walmart, you're number 1. Buying all my Christmas gifts there from now on. And Bo Nix as well. I mean, playing like a top 12 quarterback right now, top 14 quarterback. Doesn't have to be more than that. That's fine. So just really, really happy and shocked. And I want to, just make sure you guys take a moment to, while maybe the team isn't taking in winning the AFC West, that freaking matters. And to be the number 1 on the doorstep of the number 1 seed, that matters. And we'll have a conversation, I think, next week, Carl. We'll kind of put this in your ear. what constitutes a successful season based on the playoff outcomes. Like, I don't even want to put it out there. We'll save it for next week. But right now it's hard to think of anything happening in the playoffs that would be disappointing, because expectations change as you learn more information. But on the whole, what a job this team has done this season. And really, really happy to be here talking about this with you guys.
Yeah. I saw somebody ask the question in the chat. What was your guys? I think it was Glenn. Yeah. What did you guys predict our win-loss would be? I had 14-3. I had genuine belief in us, just also to win at least one playoff game. I wasn't 14-3. I think Eric was.
11 wins. I think I had 11.
Yeah, I think I was 11 or 12 was where I was at. Like, I thought I did think they'd be better. Bo Nix year 2, a lot of these guys getting into the system, just being a lot more comfortable. I liked a lot of what we did in the draft as well. And so I thought this was going to be a better team. I didn't see this. I really didn't. And so the fact that we are here, like I said, on the doorstep of the number 1 seed overall. Now, Broncos, something to keep in mind, 2 of their 3 Super Bowl wins, they were the 1 seed. 1998 season on the back end of the back-to-back, and then the 2015 season. So 1 seed matters. It really does. And like I said, last year, the 2 number 1 seeds made it to the Super Bowl. More times than not, it seems to go that kind of direction. Just, it's hard to win on the road, especially in the playoffs. You get that crowd going, and we know Mile High will be rocking for the playoffs. So I'm excited to see that and hear the announcers going, oh man, they can't hear anything down there. Now, hopefully it doesn't lead to a stupid lock penalty like we had against the Jags. That should have never happened. But no, it'd be great to have that crowd back in there the way that it should be. And so this is a historic team. Yeah, we can talk about how we view this team next week of, what's a disappointment, what's not. But the fact that they are here when, like I said, they were a laughing stock just a few years ago. We had to fire our coach before he even finished 1 season because the team was just so in shambles. The talk was, Russell Wilson brings in his own coaching staff to work with him, that he's not even hardly working with our own coaching staff. He has his own office and he's kind of doing his own thing. And, that was more the talk of what was going on in Denver compared to now, where it's, okay, are we the Super Bowl favorites? Are we the team that's going to have the best odds to go win a Super Bowl? It is. It's a crazy turnaround to see that it's not just, like I said, it's not just because we got a good quarterback. It's because we have drafted well defensively, offensively. We've got a great offensive line, defensive line. You and I have talked about it on the show. Building the Broncos, you got to build the trenches. And we watched this team struggle to have good trench play. And I mean, they had Von Miller, they had a couple of those kind of guys, but to have the all-around units that they have on both sides of the ball there, it's just great to see how they have envisioned this team. They had a plan, and they went out, attacked it, made it perfect. And it has me excited. It has me hopeful that we're not the frauds that some of them are declaring out there. But I really do think we stand a good chance of surprising some people, Nick Wright, and going out there and really competing for a Super Bowl this year.
And at some point, like, who the hell cares what they have to say, right? I mean, it just is what it is. Keep winning. They doubt the hardware. Doubt the AFC West. Maybe they'll be right. Denver's in a good spot, and they're gonna have a tough game coming up. It's not the wild card round either. They're not playing Pittsburgh, Baltimore, famous last words. They're not playing, Chargers in the playoffs that first round. Those ones I feel a little bit good about. I mean, it's gonna be a team that's earned the right to be in Denver, and Denver could lose. There's no guarantees. So take care of business this week, week 18. Get that 1 seed, and then we'll see what happens from there. Get healthy also. So appreciate you, Carl. Appreciate everybody coming in here. Shout out to Shannon Mills coming in twice. Thank you so much. We got Leroy. It was highlighted, but I never saw it in the chat. I was scrolling up and down. I don't know if you saw the notes from Chad there, but I was looking for this one. Leroy, we didn't forget you. We're going to get Leroy right now before we get out of here. I'm sorry about this, because I was literally looking for it. I'm like, Chad must have lost his marbles, because I am not seeing it in the actual live chat. But here it is in the start, so I don't know. Says, hey guys, I read an article about the possibility of the Cowboys not re-signing Javonte Williams. They actually are predicting Dobbins going to the Cowboys in free agency. Cowboys are cash heavy in contracts, so the Broncos bring back Javonte now that he's 100% healthy. They need to bring back somebody or bring in somebody at running back. Harvey's not a bell cow kind of guy, doesn't bring that power element right now, but there's a lot of different, it's going to be a pretty good running back class. I don't think Denver burnt any bridges with Javonte Williams, so I guess anything is possible. And right now, honestly, Carl, maybe this might be sacrilegious, but given where Harvey is at and how bad the draft is at the running back position as well, I think I'd rather sign Javonte Williams back than J.K. Dobbins just because of the health. Health.
Yeah, I mean, there's quite a few running backs that I really like in free agency this year. It's as much as the draft stinks, this might be one of the best running back free agencies in a while. I guess the Saquon Barkley, there's a couple other guys in that
Josh
one.
Jacobs.
Josh. Right. Okay. Okay. Let's give it to that one because that's Hall of Fame level running backs. But for what we need, there's some really nice names out there. And Javonte's one of them. You know, I'm glad that he's went out there and had the season he's had. I wished him well, and I hate that an injury really took away from what was a promising rookie season. So if he can come back, I think that'd be a great pairing. Javonte with Harvey and 1-2 punch for the Broncos. I just don't know. We'll see. Nice thing is Broncos have some money they can go spend. They can maybe, I don't say overspend, but they can add a little bit extra to go get a guy and say, hey, you're going to compete for Super Bowls. Come run it. We love to run the football. And maybe Javonte's that guy.
Do they love to run the football?
Well, okay. I think they want to. They want to.
Yeah.
If they had it. I mean, we've seen it in the past where when he had Mark Ingram and I'm trying to remember, I guess Reggie Bush, I think were the two. Deuce Staley. Yeah.
Excuse me. Callis.
Okay. Yeah, they ran the ball a lot when they had that kind of pairing. And I think we ran the ball quite a bit when we had J.K. Dobbins. It's just been much harder to see the success of a run game without him. Mm-hmm. You know, it's hard. It's hard to keep hitting a brick wall over and over and over again, being like, well, we can't completely abandon this, even though it's not working. And when the pass game, when Bo Nix is playing as he is, you know, why would you take it down away from him if you don't have to? And so, like I said, you've got to definitely keep running the football. I just wish we had a guy that could really take advantage of what we're doing up front right now.
Denver will make a move at running back.
Yeah,
we'll see what it is. Like, guarantee that there'll be a running back, there'll be a linebacker, and there'll be a tight end. And it could be even bringing back guys you already have in the house, but those are spots where there's obvious holes right now with the guys that you're going to be losing this offseason. So we'll see. We got a lot of time to talk Broncos offseason. I love you guys talk going down. We'll have time to talk running back and everything. I mean, didn't hear anybody shout out Kenneth Walker. He's very interesting. Tyler Algier is interesting. ETN, a little bit different, but I mean, if you want to run outside zone, I mean, he's a good outside zone runner. Yeah. So I know he's not as much for your Thunder, but that's okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, I've seen Breece Hall's name a couple times.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of Hall. Yeah. So we'll see. But right now we need RJ Harvey, Jaleel McLaughlin. Please step up. Get McLaughlin more touches, I guess. The blocking's there. So appreciate everybody. Shout out to the Super Chat givers. Like I said, glad to get Leroy in there. Shannon as well. David Youngkin in the house. Mike Thompson becoming a member. You guys are rock stars. Appreciate you. Follow Carl on Twitter. Carl's at Carl Dumler MHH. I'm at Kendell MHH. We're also over at Mile High Huddle. Facebook.com/Mile High Huddle and Facebook.com/Mile High Huddle Pod. Of course, we're over at Spotify, Apple Podcasts as well. If you guys are, doing long road trips like I have been, shout out to podcasts for that as well. Sorry, my son's going to know so much football. How much we're listening on the drive here, but make sure you guys, if you guys do listen after the fact or even listening live, find us on Spotify and Apple. Leave us a 5-star rating as well. And number one thing you can do, find us on YouTube, subscribe to Mile High Huddle, like this show, and share on your social media platforms. That helps us so much. YouTube, the number one platform for podcasts nowadays. So that's, I don't know, hopefully you guys turn off the videos, don't see my ugly mug on there, but it's good to see. And Tyler asked, any news on Drew Sanders? From what I've heard, we don't need to be asking about him. So yeah, we don't need this. He's no Drew Sanders coming in this season, which is what it is. He'll get a chance to compete July, August. But from Eric said it on here too, he was close to not making the team this offseason as well. So be cool to have him in theory, as a pressure package player, special teams, but he's got work to do. Yeah, and Mills will replace me one day. I just hope becomes a Bronco fan as well. But we'll see. I don't want to scare him away. There's been a few times where I've yelled at the TV and he's been the fear of God in his eyes. It was mainly the Iowa-Oregon game this year where I don't know if you caught the end of that one, but oh my God, what a wave of emotions that one was. He didn't learn any new words from me though. That's his mother. But appreciate everyone. Carl, good to see you. We'll see you again on Tuesday. We'll have a lot more to talk about. Man, like I said, what a season it's been. One more to go. Appreciate it. It's going to be great. It's going to be a fun time, and we'll see what it brings. But have a good one, guys. Happy holidays. Kindness and compassion as always. Go Broncos.